Well, hey there, and welcome to Board to Learn, the channel dedicated to helping you learn how to play your new games faster. I'm Maggie, and today I'm going to show you how to play Abduction, a 1 to 4 player funny strategy game where you'll collect ducks by abducting them. Meet me at the table and we'll get started. Before we get into the rules, here's the story. You work for Supervisor Dave as interns, and he needs ducks for research, so your job is to abduct ducks, bring them back for study, and complete your research goals before the other players do, and hopefully get offered the job. To set up, start by placing the ducks into the UFO. Give each player a quantum pond board to place in front of them. When placing the board, make sure the entrance pond is at the top left corner. You'll know it's correct because the river flows into that pond from off the board. Next, randomly draw ducks from the UFO and place them in the pond starting from the bottom left and working backwards around the board until all of the ponds are full. Shuffle the formation cards. These have shiny backs with a picture of a duck on them. Draw 12 cards, then flip the top 3 cards face up in the middle of the play area. These are your first assignments from Supervisor Dave. Now, shuffle the action cards. These have the abduction label on them. Deal 3 cards to each player and place the remaining action cards face down in the middle of the table. The player who most recently saw a real duck will be the first player. And with that, the setup is complete. As interns trying to impress Supervisor Dave, your objective is to rearrange the ducks on your quantum pond board so they match the color formations shown on the formation cards. If you manage to collect the most points and catch the eye of Supervisor Dave, you'll get the job and win the game. Starting with the first player moving clockwise, players take turns using their action cards to put their ducks in a row and hopefully collect formation cards along the way. Before you start moving ducks around, plan your turn carefully. Supervisor Dave doesn't like interns with commitment issues. Once you touch a duck, you must move it. No takebacks. Before we go through the turn itself, let's take a closer look at how formation cards work. Each formation card shows a group of ducks arranged in a specific pattern. Think of these cards as a small grid. Your pond board works the same way. It's laid out as a 5x2 grid where your ducks live. Your goal is to arrange the ducks in your pond so they match the colors and positions shown on one of the formation cards in the middle of the table. The colors on the cards tell you how the ducks need to match. If all the ducks on that card are purple, that means every duck in that pattern must be the same color. They could all be white, yellow, pink, or blue, as long as they match each other. If the card shows purple and orange ducks, that means the ducks must form 2 different groups of matching colors. For example, the purple ducks might all be yellow while the orange ducks might all be blue. Basically, the ducks need to stick with their flock. Also, formation cards cannot be flipped or rotated. The pattern must appear exactly the same way on your pond board as it does on the card. Supervisor Dave is very picky about his research notes. Now that we know what we're trying to match, let's waddle through a turn step by step. On your turn, the first thing you do is check the 3 formation cards in the center of the table to see if the ducks in your pond already match one of those patterns. If they do, great job of getting your ducks in a row. You immediately abduct those ducks from the pond, return them to the UFO, and collect the formation card. This ends your turn. If your pond doesn't match any of the cards yet, it's time to do a little wrangling. Duck wrangling. At the start of your turn, you'll have 3 action cards in your hand. You may play up to 3 action cards on your turn, but you can stop early whenever you like. Sometimes it's best to quit while your ducks are ahead. You can use your action cards to move, swap, or remove ducks in your pond to try to create one of the formation patterns. If an action card removes ducks from your pond, those ducks go back into the UFO. After that, shift the remaining ducks downstream in a clockwise direction. Then, refill the empty ponds with ducks from the UFO, starting with the pond furthest downstream and working backwards until all ponds are full. Some action cards will remove ducks from other players' ponds as well. When this happens, every player who loses ducks immediately returns those ducks to the UFO, shifts the remaining ducks downstream, and refills their ponds right away. If multiple players need to refill, start with the player who played the card and move clockwise around the table. After each action card, or whenever you choose to stop playing cards, check the formation cards again. If your ducks now match one of the patterns, abduct that group of ducks from your pond and return them to the UFO. Then, collect the matching formation card and place it face down near your pond board. As soon as you collect a formation card, your turn ends. If you stop playing action cards and your pawn still doesn't match any of the formation cards, your turn simply ends and play passes to the next player. After your turn, perform some cleanup. Make sure all abducted ducks are back in the UFO. Shift the remaining ducks on your board downstream in a clockwise direction. Then, refill any empty ponds starting with the furthest downstream pond and working backwards. If a formation card was collected, flip over a new one from the deck. Then, draw action cards so you have 3 in your hand again. After that, it's the next player's turn. At the start of your turn, if you are ever unsatisfied with the ducks on your pawn board, you may discard all 3 of your action cards to abduct every duck from your board and return them to your UFO. Then, refill your pond with 10 new ducks from the UFO. Again, starting with the furthest downstream pond and working backwards. After refilling your pond, check the formation cards just like normal. If your new ducks match one of the patterns, you may immediately abduct them and collect that formation card. The game ends when the 12th formation card has been collected. When this happens, it's time for the final performance review. Players add up the total points from the formation cards they collected. The player with the most points gets offered the full-time position and wins the game. If you're playing with junior interns, there's also an easier setup option. Before shuffling the formation cards, remove any cards worth 6 points or more. That way, Supervisor Dave gives you slightly easier assignments. And that's how you play Abduction. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to learn more great games. Turn on the bell to be notified when we post new videos. And remember, it's not just how you play, it's how much fun you have. Thanks for watching Board to Learn. The player who most... As interns trying to impress... these are your first assignments from Suspester. I said it again! How did I do that? Suspester. Starting with the first player and moving clockwise. Starting with the first player and moving Starting with the first player and moving...
Clockwise.
What's your favorite color out of all these?
Blue.
Look, if I pick out a blue duck, you have to subscribe. Please do this.